RHOBH, Dorit Kemsley filing for divorce, marriage done. RHOBH star Dorit Kemsley is definitely filing for divorce from her husband PK Kemsley after realizing the marriage is over. She started season 14 by breaking the news that they had decided to separate, but it was unclear how far it would go. Now it looks like Dorit has made up her mind. Keep reading for further details. Dorit Kemsley filing for divorce, marriage done. When PK and Dorit Kemsley first joined RHOBH in season 7, they were longtime friends of Lisa Vanderpump. Dorit could be off-putting and judgmental, but over time, she managed to really mesh with the women. They were there when she was the victim of a home invasion in 2021 and rallied right around her. This meant so much but her husband, PK, was not as much of a force. He had been in London when she was held at gunpoint and did all she could to protect their children, Jagger and Phoenix. It led to some serious PTSD, but in PK's mind, Dorit was being dramatic and annoying, which was hard for her to hear. He continued to spend more time away and was allegedly drinking to the point where it became a problem. There were rumors they had split, but nothing was confirmed, and finally, they announced it was over. Fans and bloggers were skeptical that this was real or just a way to increase her RHOBH popularity, further fattening her bank account. Unfortunately, it looks like that is not the case, as Dorit is ready to file for divorce at any moment. According to The Sun, a divorce is imminent between the estranged two. This comes on the heels of Dorit Kemsley reflecting back on how fierce and firm she has been all season. She has held nothing back and ensured no one walks all over her. An insider had this to say. That means she is ready to take the next steps in terms of dissolving her 9-year marriage with PK. Finally, Dorit realizes she can be her own person and does not need PK any longer. After 7 months, it is becoming clear their marriage is over. Fans love new Dorit. Season 14 of RHOBH is all about Dorit Kemsley, and fans love her. They applaud her newfound strength and the attitude she brings with her. I'm standing beside Dorit. She handling business this season. Dorit hasn't lost a single argument this season, and she's averaging 3 fights per episode. That's astonishing. Dorit just snatched herself a 4-season diamond renewal with tonight's performance. This is Dorit's best season hands down. She has no more **** to give about that man of hers, and it's carrying this season. No notes. In an upcoming episode, Dorit recounts a session with PA and how he explicitly throws divorce in her face. That is like a slap, but it may have been the moment it all clicked. The lavish Beverly Hills estate that once echoed with the laughter of Dorit and PK Kemsley now stood shrouded in an eerie quiet. The sprawling property, adorned with sparkling chandeliers and priceless art, seemed to hold its breath, as if it too felt the weight of the moment. Dorit, dressed in a tailored white suit that whispered of quiet power, sat in her elegantly designed sitting room, her manicured fingers clutching a cup of chamomile tea. The morning sunlight poured through the floor-to-ceiling windows, casting a golden hue over her perfectly styled blonde hair. The decision had not come lightly. For years, Dorit and PK had been a staple of Beverly Hills high society, their life together a blend of opulence and occasional chaos. But beneath the glossy exterior lay cracks that had been slowly widening, unnoticed by the public, but painfully evident to Dorit. The pressures of reality television, financial struggles, and the incessant scrutiny of their personal lives had taken their toll. And now, after months of reflection and private discussions, Dorit had reached a breaking point. The phone buzzed on the marble-topped coffee table. It was Kyle Richards, her closest confidant and fellow cast member on The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. "How are you holding up, darling?" Kyle's voice was soft but laced with concern. Dorit sighed. I'm doing what I need to, Kyle. This isn't easy, but it's the right thing. Kyle's pause on the other end spoke volumes. You're sure about this? Filing for divorce is such a big step. I've been sure for a while, Dorit admitted. I just needed time to gather the strength to make it official. As she ended the call, Dorit's mind drifted to the memories of their early days. PK had swept her off her feet with his charisma and humor. Their life together had been a whirlwind of lavish vacations, glamorous parties, and shared dreams. But somewhere along the way, the connection had frayed. Arguments became more frequent, and the love that once bound them seemed to dissolve under the weight of their difference. News of Dorit's decision had begun to trickle out. Tiemann's was the first to report it, their headline screaming, RHO Beatty's Dorit Kemsley files for divorce. A marriage in shambles. Paparazzi swarmed the gates of her home, their cameras poised to capture any glimpse of the drama unfolding behind the walls. Dorit, however, remained composed. She had anticipated this frenzy and had resolved to rise above it. Her children, Phoenix and Jagger, were her primary concern. Shielding them from the chaos was paramount. Dorit's maternal instincts kicked into high gear as she planned how to explain the situation to them in a way that emphasized love and stability, despite the changes ahead. Meanwhile, the Beverly Hills social circle buzzed with speculation. Erica Jane, ever the provocateur, was quick to chime in during a lunch with Sutton Strack and Garcelle Bova. Did you hear about Dorit and PK? Erica's perfectly arched eyebrow lifted as she sipped her martini. Of course I heard, Sutton drawled, adjusting her Chanel scarf. But honestly, is anyone surprised? They've had issues for years. Garcelle, always the voice of reason, frowned. Marriage is hard enough without cameras documenting your every move. I just hope she's okay. Back at her home, Dorit's legal team was hard at work. The divorce papers were meticulously drafted, ensuring that her interests, and those of her children, were protected. Dorit's attorney, a sharp and empathetic woman named Claire, sat across from her at the dining table. We'll file the papers first thing tomorrow morning, Claire assured her. Do you want to include a statement for the press? Dorit hesitated. She knew the importance of controlling the narrative, but also wanted to maintain a sense of dignity. Something simple, she said finally. Just that this is a personal decision made with the utmost care, and that PK, and I remain committed to co-parenting. That evening, Dorit found solace in her closet, a sanctuary of couture and memories. As she sifted through the racks of designer dresses, she stumbled upon a gown she'd worn during a particularly joyous anniversary celebration with PK. The sight of it brought tears to her eyes. It wasn't regret, but a bittersweet acknowledgement of what once was. The next day, the news became official. Dorit's statement was released to the press, and the floodgates of public opinion opened. Social media lit up with reactions, some supportive, others less so. Fans of RHOBH weighed in, dissecting every detail and speculating about the future of the show's most stylish housewife. PK, for his part, issued a brief statement of his own. Dorit and I have shared a beautiful journey together. While this chapter is ending, our focus remains on our children and their happiness. Behind closed doors, PK struggled with the reality of the situation. He'd always considered himself a fighter, someone who could overcome any challenge. But as he sat alone in the guest house, the weight of Dorit's decision crushed him. The memories of their life together played like a reel in his mind, each moment tinged with the sting of loss. The days that followed were a blur of meetings, co-parenting discussions, and tentative steps into a new reality. Dorit leaned on her friends for support, finding strength in their encouragement and wisdom. Lisa Rinna, no stranger to personal upheaval, offered her trademark blunt advice. "Honey, this is your time to shine," Lisa declared over lunch. "Reinvent yourself, focus on your brand, and show the world what you're made of." Dorit took the words to heart. She threw herself into her work, channeling her energy into her swimwear line and other business ventures. Slowly but surely, she began to rediscover the vibrant, ambitious woman she'd been before the weight of a faltering marriage dimmed her spark. As the weeks turned into months, the fallout from the divorce settled into a new normal. Dorit and PK navigated their co-parenting relationship with grace, prioritizing their children above all else. The RHOBH cameras captured glimpses of this transition, offering viewers a raw and unfiltered look at the resilience of a woman determined to reclaim her life. In the quiet moments, Dorit reflected on her journey. The divorce was not an ending, but a new beginning, a chance to write a fresh chapter on her own terms. And as she stood on the balcony of her Beverly Hills home, gazing out at the city that had witnessed her triumphs and tribulations, Dorit felt a sense of peace. The road ahead was uncertain, but for the first time in years, she felt ready to embrace it with open arms.